Tennessee, after pressure from state lawmakers, the health department will stop outreach to adolescents about all vaccines, not just the COVID shot, according to a report based on internal documents in the Tennessean newspaper. But the threat isn't going away nationwide. Mississippi's Department of Health officer says 7 children there are currently in the ICU. 2 on life support. Okay. But doctors say most children so far haven't shown severe illness.
It is not leading to higher levels of hospitalizations or deaths that we can see so far.
As authorities struggle to convince 98 million Americans to get vaccinated, new infections fueled by Delta are on the rise in over half the country. While many of the newly sick chose not to get protected, this morning children under 12 don't have that choice, but now face the same risk.
I just, there are people who are on the streets in Cuba, in Haiti. There are people who are just in India in dire straits because they don't have access to free vaccinations. They don't have access to a buffet of vaccination choices. They can't choose from the Johnson & Johnson one and done. Maybe the Pfizer is good for Moderna. I like the sound of it. It's modern. I'll do that one. No, they don't have that choice. They have a choice to either stay isolated and hold up or die or get sick and then have long COVID on top of it. Okay, we have these choices. And they are choices. But when you choose not to protect children, you're going to hell. Just thought I'd mention that. Don't go all Jesus-y on me and ignore the children. That's just amazing. But this is being done by the Tennessee Department of Health. Clearly, they should change their name to the Department of Health Prevention. I cannot believe, and they fired the woman that was telling the legislature that they have a law on the books and have had a law on the books called the Mature Minor Doctrine that resulted from a Tennessee Supreme Court case ruling in 1987. If you want to look up the case, it was called Cardwell versus Bechtel. And the Tennessee Supreme Court 34 years ago said that a mature person who is under the age of 18 can request vaccines from measles, I don't even change it to the volunteer state to the I don't give a crap state. I'm not volunteering for anything, or simply change it to the infectious disease state, or the I got it. Make polio great again. There's your slogan. Put it all over your license plates. Tennessee, make polio great again. Because Donald Trump was on the TV, Newsmax is doing it. Tucker Carlson is saying that you need to call the police, you need to, go to the playgrounds and monitor people for talking to children about vaccines or whatever. I mean, this is so sick and it's so Republican and it's so vile, and it's only because they are pandering to people who don't know any better. They don't listen to science. They won't listen to doctors. Obviously, they want to die. Some of them are a part of a death cult. Others of them just don't have the information. And this is an attempt to not give the information so that people can make educated choices. This doctor that was fired, she wrote a very passionate piece that was published in her state newspaper, the Tennessean. She said, and this is why I'm reading it, because you might not be aware of what is going on inside of departments of health around our country. And I thought that a little snippet of this might educate you. She said, today I became the 25th of 64 state and territorial immunization program directors to leave their position during this pandemic. Did you know that 24 or 25 of 64 immunization program directors across this country have resigned or have quit in protest. Did you know that? That's 40%. That's 40% of doctors. That is an amazing institutional brain drain. That is literally depriving Americans from the expertise that these public health officials provide for us. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And that's how she opened it. And I thought that was so smart because I had no idea that 40% of the resignations from immunization experts inside our state governments have quit in response while our public health infrastructure is totally trashed in the midst of a pandemic by political actors who are looking to gin up outrage against anything, including a vaccine that works. She said, we're a group of dedicated public health professionals who have worked endless hours to make COVID-19 vaccines the one tool we have to effectively end the scourge of the COVID-19 pandemic available to every person in our jurisdictions. Along the way, we've been disparaged and demeaned and accused and sometimes vilified by a public who opposes or who chooses not to believe in science, and elected and appointed officials who have put their own self-interest above the people they were chosen to represent and protect. On May 6th of 2021, in the advance of the approval of the Pfizer COVID-19 vax for 12 to 15-year-olds, and in response to multiple questions I had received regarding the rules around vaccinating minors, I reached out to the Tennessee Department of Health's General Counsel to request a statement from the lawyer, right? The general counsel is the head lawyer, regarding Tennessee's mature minor doctrine that resulted from a Tennessee Supreme Court case called Cardwell versus Bechtel in 1987. In response, I got a document attached to an email saying, sure. Attached is the new summary of the doctrine that has just recently been posted to the website and is blessed. Swear to God. Is blessed by the governor's office on the subject. This is forward-facing, so feel free to distribute to anyone. So on May 10th, she copied it and she pasted it and she provided it in a memo to providers who were administering vaccines. One of the parents or one of the recipients of her email that quoted and attached the guidance from the general counsel in the state of Tennessee regarding the mature minor doctrine, saying you can vaccinate 14 to 17-year-olds. You are able to do that. One of the recipients decided to post it to social media, and within days, the legislators were acting, and they were screaming, and they were saying, this is an attempt to undermine parental authority, which the original case actually addressed back 34 years ago in 1987. She said, let me be clear, this was an informational memo that was blessed by the Office of the General Counsel, blah, 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 right? And that's when they decided to have this freaky hearing that I just played you clips of. That was the June 16th meeting. And they accused her of targeting the youth.